Welcome back to the Small Time Critics. My name is Mohammed Hashi, and I am with...
I'm with Mohammed Hashi. TRIZLUCENT.
TRIZLUCENT, the king of pop culture, the host with the mostest.
The hostess with the mostest.
Even though you're not a female, though. But are you? Anyway.
Hey.
Anyway, as you can see from the thumbnail, we are talking about one of the films of the year, man. I think this could be, bro. This was a movie, as they say.
This was a movie, yeah.
28 years later, the next entrant in a trilogy so far of 28 days later, 28 weeks later, and now 28 years. Mm-hmm. So, and hopefully 2 other films following on from this, because this film's the start of another trilogy, apparently. So, written by Alex Garland, the filmmaker in his own right, and directed by the great Danny Boyle, the main man, Danny Boyle. Okay, Triz, before I get into my many meandering thoughts about this movie, let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what you're feeling, bro, about this one.
I think when I first heard that Danny and Alex Garland were coming back together to work on a project, I was already like, I was already gassed. I was already like, yeah, we're in for something good. I will say this: the movie doesn't disappoint, and I will also say that, you like trailers, and you definitely said to me that trailer was great.
It's one of the best in the last 20 years, without doubt.
Because that trailer does not tell you a damn thing about this film.
But you want to watch it at the end.
Yeah. And going into the film, after watching the trailer, I just, sometimes, with trailers, normally you have a kind of direction. Like, all right, this is going to happen here, there's this, blah, blah, blah. You ain't got a clue. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the power of a great trailer. And the movie just hits, man. It's fast. I saying I watched them. I've been watching a few things of Danny Boyle, like doing his interviews and stuff right now, where he's on his press tour stuff, and he's like saying that. They say that him and Alex created what the zombie horror franchise is today. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And he said a great segment to a great story about when he was deciding on how the infected would
run. Yes.
Yeah, how they would run, and saying that he went to a retired athletes
agency,
a retired athletes agency, and he was like, come at me as if it was, don't hurt me, but come at me as
please do not hurt me, but run at me and stop at the very last second.
Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing, to kind of get a kind of idea how he's gonna make these infected individuals maneuver in the film, and
he said it was really scary, and he said that's when he knew he was onto something.
Do you see what I'm saying? And yes, he was, because if that was 20 odd years ago, do you know what I'm saying? And we've had a spell of zombie movies where they're running at every individual, bro. And he's the one that, you know what I'm saying, is the kind of mind of that. He's done something amazing, bro. Because this film has you on the edge of your seat from start to finish, man. Do you know what I'm saying? There's a few scenes where I was like, oh my God, I don't know. I was sitting there moving every second, because I'm just thinking I don't know what's about to happen. I don't know what angle it's about to happen from. And it's you've got Aaron Taylor Johnson's character, who's the father of Spike,
played by a really great young actor called Alfie Williams.
Yeah. I don't know. Did he say it when you watched it in your screening? Did he say about child actors right now when he was trying to find Alfie?
Yes, he said it's very difficult to find child actors. He was saying child actors are one of the most difficult things to find, an actual good one. Yeah. And he said
and did he talk about the Harry Potter thing?
No.
Oh, so he was like, I blame Harry Potter, because he was ever since Harry Potter, the child actors, the how dynamic these kids are, is just gone through the roof. And it's the level of acting from some of these kids who are 12, 8, 10, you know what I'm saying? It's amazing. And it's so hard to make a decision on who to pick, because a lot of them are really, really good. And he was there was something about Alfie. Do you know what I'm saying? And I don't blame him, because there really was he was a character that was able to really give off a lot of emotion, you know what I'm saying? And especially, even when I say that, bro, he's acting with some greats, you know what I'm saying? He's acting with Jodie Comer, he's acting with Ray Fiennes, you know what I'm saying? He's Aaron Taylor Johnson is a good actor. I'm not going to take that away from him. You know what I'm saying? He picked some bad movies though, Craven. But you know what I'm saying? But he's acting with these really,
Yeah.
really amazing actors, bro, and he's standing tall, bro. You know what I'm saying? And even though the movie is about all these other characters, it's solely about him. Do you know what I'm saying? It's solely about him, and he's having to carry a lot of the emotional baggage of this film, bro.
The burden,
Do you know what I'm
100%,
saying? Because especially once you get past the first hour mark and then into the second part of the movie, where, you know what I'm saying, he goes out on his, you know what I'm saying, I don't want to go into spoilers, but he goes on another journey. Do you know what I'm saying? In that second bit, very emotional, bro, and a lot to carry, bro, by yourself at that age. So I think this is one of Danny Boyle's best movies. I expected no less anyway, because when Alex Garland's writing it, I didn't think anything.
For me, bro, like from the way this film started, I was like, we are onto one right here. Like the way this film starts, and we're gonna get into spoilers from the jump right now. The way this film starts is essentially we start with the Teletubbies, yeah, and all these kids at the very start, like back to literally 28 days later, like when the virus first starts, and essentially we're in a room full of kids, and literally like the parents are putting all these kids from all these different, you know what I mean, houses across down the road into this one room kind of thing, and then it begins, man. You know what I mean? And the virus starts taking out their parents, and then these infected come into the room and start killing the kids. And the film starts with kids dying.
Sorry to cut you off here. I do want to just say, I did like the fact that they filmed that first bit in the essence of 28 days. So it still had that kind of grain. It still had that because they filmed it. There was a lot of shaky cam. Like when they did that first one, it was very like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
To kind of show the violence, what's going on. I did like that they kept that, and then as it starts, you then see the new frame. You then see the new kind of, you know what I mean, this new visual kind of what they were going for.
Such a very good point that you bring up, bro. Because that's so true. That's so true. And again, it's just a testament to the outstanding cinematography in this film, which we will get into and talk about ad nauseum. I promise you that. But the way this film starts with that, and then with this kid who is our like who we are with for the start of the film, who then runs across to his father, who's a priest at the local church of the town in Scotland, where the film begins in the Scottish Highlands. And the way that starts, and he gives him his cross, and you're thinking, goodness me, when are we going to see that boy again? Yeah, we are going to see that boy again. And then we get into the film, and like you said, we get this new framing. We get taken to this kind of island and stuff like that, which is separate to the mainland, i.e. the UK kind of thing. And bro, this film is very simple, by the way, in its story structure. It really is. Essentially, you know what I mean, a young boy, you know what I mean, is given, you know what I mean, the rite of passage in his town, you know what I mean, to go out, you know what I mean, and go out into the world, which is very dangerous with the infect, all that kind of stuff, and then come back, hopefully a hero kind of thing. And then essentially, obviously, we find out that his mum's a bit sick, Jodie Comer. Initially, I thought she was like pregnant, initially, by the way. But then obviously when there's no baby,
I thought she was having mental health problems.
Yeah.
I thought that's what it was.
Oh, you thought it was that? Cool. I thought it was like early onset dementia. Like it's very rare for like people who are young to get it, but it can happen at times. So I thought it was something to do with that because you're so forgetful. And then obviously we get like the dad very frustrated with the situation with his, you know what I mean, with his wife, i.e. Jodie Comer's character, Isla. And again, when he goes out, and the big thing for me was Aaron Taylor-Johnson as a father wasn't someone who was sympathetic to like someone so young going into the situation brand new. Like he was like, come here, do this, do that. You need to see this horrible thing. Yeah, that's his life kind of thing. And that kind of parent is not something I would agree with personally, kind of thing, because it's mad. But like, it is very interesting that because that's the way maybe he was taught when he was younger, kind of thing, which is interesting. And then this is where you get Alex Garland really writing really well, because like obviously we get the kind of entry level kind of zombies with the kind of crawlers kind of thing, and them killing that. And again, the way the camera works, because the cinematography in this film is so outstanding in the way, like, because there was a rig where they had one iPhone and then like a ring of iPhones around it, because they shot the film on iPhone 15 Pro Max, literally the phone that you and I have, kind of thing. But obviously with like 50k worth of like equipment around and all that kind of stuff. I mean, and again, the fact that like when they're shooting the arrows at these infected, you get this shot of the arrow, but then you get another shot, literally like next, like maybe I want to say like 2-3 feet, like across, where you get it from a different angle.
Yeah.
And it was just so interesting and so unique and something that I've never seen before. I don't know about you.
Nah, what I do like the fact that for me it's weird. Like I feel like when I watch 28 or when I watch 28 years later, it feels like a comic book, if that makes sense, bro.
Okay, go on.
And what I mean by that is like, because a lot of the shots, a lot of the action moments of it it's very impact heavy. So when there's an impact, it's like, you know what I'm saying?
You hear the blood spill.
You know what I'm saying? You hear the blood. You kind of have a freeze frame moment, like a split second freeze frame moment of the actual impact, like hit, then fall. You know what I'm saying? Then back to normal.
So true, yeah.
And that's why I say it always reminds me of like reading like a comic book. You know what I'm saying? Which I do like though. I do like that kind of style. And I watched something recently, and it was like they were doing like a kind of comparison between 28 days and 28 years, as well as The Last of Us and The Walking Dead. Okay. And they showed how much was exactly taken from like inspiration from 28 days and not so much 28 years, but 28 days later specifically, bro, to all these other franchises, bro.
Yeah.
So much was taken from there, which I didn't even realize myself. Do you know what I'm saying? I didn't realize this myself until I watched like frame by frame.
The comparison.
Like there's a shot where Rick Grimes is in The Walking Dead is getting out of the hospital, and then it's the exact same shot from where Cillian Murphy's character, when he first wakes up out of the hospital. Do you know what I'm saying? Same kind of thing, same kind of dynamic, and it's mad to see, like, and obviously Danny Boyle's so like a humble man as well, but you know what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, I see it. You know what I'm saying? I see it. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? It's just about making great movies at the end of the day, innit? You know what I mean? Bro, I love him as a director, bro. I love him as a director.
No, but the thing is, the reason why he's like that is because when he made his first film, I think it's called Shallows, he essentially took from the Coen brothers' Blood Simple, their first film, kind of thing. And I remember he said that his producer said, "Oh my God, this is a copy of Blood Simple." And Dan was like, "Oh my God, no, I'm sorry. I just love the film." And the producer like, "No, you need to copy more."
Oh yeah.
Kind of thing. So he said like, we're not kind of taking away from a great piece of art. We're just trying to add to it. You know what I mean, to maintain and keep the great tradition of great cinema, kind of thing. He said. Yeah. So he said when people like give comparisons to all this other zombie stuff that they've seen, all that kind of stuff, he goes, "I'm very flattered." He said, he said because he said, "I never thought at the start of my career people would be trying to copy me." Yeah. So he's such a very, very great humble guy, man. In that way.
Yeah. I think I would have loved to have an interview with him. I would have loved to talk to him.
Don't worry. Hopefully we will, man. Don't worry. There's another 2 of these coming out.
Hopefully there's still time.
There's definitely still time. So to kind of get back to the kind of film, and once. There's a wonderful sequence when Aaron Taylor Johnson's character works out, okay, there's an alpha infected right there. We need to get home as soon as possible, kind of thing. And then they're getting attacked by all of these really crazy infected kind of thing, who are essentially like, they look like kind of Neanderthal, kind of like cavemen kind of thing. Yeah. They're naked, they're hairy. It's just, they look really scary, man.
But you know what I like? It's cool to see because it shows you, like, it's kind of like what the virus actually does to you. And he said like, well, when Ray Fiennes' character kind of comes into the movie, it says like that's like a kind of like it's like a steroid, like a kind of some people they get it like that, but it's like it's cool to see what the virus actually done and how it adapts, because the alphas, for example, they're smart. Do you know what I'm saying? They understand, you know what I'm saying? They understand the tactics. You know what I'm saying? Like Aaron Taylor Johnson, when they're like held up in that little house, they're like, oh, they'll leave in it, whatever. But all of the other ones run in to try and fight them and try and get them and all that kind of stuff. Whereas the alpha, which I love, stays right there. And I love the silhouette, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? So just see the silhouette on the hilltop. You know what I'm saying?
The hilltop with the tree, it just looks so beautiful, man. Like there's so many frames that are like a painting. Because there's that place in the northeast where there's like a kind of like between 2 mountains, and then there's a tree there, which unfortunately recently got cut down, but they digitally put it back in there for the film, kind of thing. And like to have them kind of walking through these kind of wonderful landscapes in the north of England, seeing the Angel of the North and stuff like that, amazing stuff, man. But like that sequence, Triz, when they're going back home, kind of thing, because they're only meant to be out for 4 hours, by the way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're meant to be back before sundown, kind of thing. And when they're on the causeway going back, because obviously the connection to the mainland and the island is this causeway that is literally revealed by the high tide. And the fact that he said, all right, it's only up to your shins. You know what I mean? It's fine. Just take your shoes off when they go across, kind of thing. And then Aaron Taylor Johnson's character is like, he's already celebrating, like they're not even halfway across.
He's jubilating,
He's like, oh, can't wait for all the stories. You know what I mean? My boy, look at all the kills you got today, all this kind of stuff. And then all you just see is my guy, the alpha, absolutely trucking. You know what I mean? And it's just such, and then you hear the music crescendoing, and you see this wonderful night sky full of stars, bro. You know what I mean? And you hear the music come. Oh, it's just cinema.
It's, you know what I mean? It's definitely a great scene. What did you think of? Who did you think Jimmy was? Who do you think Jimmy was?
So for me, and we're gonna get into the ending, because for me, I love this film, but the ending, Triz, I still cannot reconcile with it, and we're gonna get into it because I knew that character that we saw at the start of the film, we're gonna see it at some point in the film. You know what I mean? I didn't know when, but I knew we were. And in my mind,
spoilers, by the way.
In spoilers, of course. In my mind, I thought because he's from the lineage of someone who's like a great orator, i.e. his dad who's a preacher, like a priest kind of thing, he's gonna be some kind of leader. So I thought he's gonna be like a leader of like an elite kind of like gang of like people who are just out on the mainland, like living and foraging, all that kind of stuff. What we got was so different, but we're gonna get to that kind of thing. Tell me, bro, what you thought of the fact that when Spike came back and then he realized that, again, many kids, this happens so many, like in everyone's life, where they find out that the parents are not perfect, they don't have all the answers, and he finds out essentially like his dad's not the greatest of guys that he always thought he was, because again, he's someone probably obviously similar to yourself, myself, like when we were kids, we used to worship our dads, you know what I'm saying, kind of thing. And for him to kind of find that out, obviously, that his dad was cheating on his mum, which is crazy, you know what I'm saying, and on his sick mum at that as well, by the way, which is mad. And you know what I mean? And then him going home, and there's a wonderful scene, and I think we spoke about this on the phone when on our way home, where he's basically saying like, get away from us, kind of thing, you know what I mean? Like, why would you do that to us, kind of, essentially, kind of thing. And him bringing out the knife on his own dad, and then Aaron Taylor Johnson, and this was really great acting, like him just overwhelmed by emotion, takes the knife off him, kind of thing. He's shaking, he's shaking, and he gives a knife back to him, and he just leaves, and he just punches, you know what I mean, the landing, you know what I mean, like just like above the stairs, like twice, and then leaves, kind of thing. And then that's when the movie like really gets into it, when Alfie's like, all right, there's this doctor that my dad was lying about, kind of thing. We need to go see him because we need to go help him out. And that's when we get into it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Tell me what you thought of that sequence when Spike takes, what do you call it, his mum, Isla, Jodie Comer, off of the island onto the mainland, and that journey. What did you think of that, bro?
I thought that was it was really good, man, because it's like you got someone who's a novice at this. He's been out once, do you know what I'm saying? But it's the love that, and I think a lot of people have for their mum, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen it myself, you know what I'm saying? How much I love my own mother, you know what I'm saying? Because of what I've been going through recently, do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, that's why when I watched the movie, I was like, bro, I feel that, do you know what I'm saying? Because there's something wrong with mum, and everyone is just like blagging it off as if it's like calm, do you know what I'm saying? As if like there's nothing wrong when there's literally something going on here, do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, you're out here, you know what I'm saying, with some next chick, do you know what I'm saying? And you're there drinking and that, telling stories about how sick I did outside on the mainland, when that's not the case, bro. I didn't do all of that. Not only you cheating, not only you lying, but then mum is sick and you're not even doing anything about it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not even trying to do anything about it. You're just blowing it over, like, oh, I just cook breakfast, then make some eggs, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are we actually gonna do about this? Do you know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. And it's funny because when I was watching, I was like, oh, just chill, man, like, relax, you know what I'm saying? But then again, it's like, bro, it's mother and son, you know what I'm saying? There's such a strong connection there. And it's like, obviously he's like, all right, cool, I'll just do it myself then. I'll take it into my own hands and see what I can do. So that's why when he does go on his journey, and he does, you know what I mean, he has his own encounters for the first time, you know what I'm saying? We can see this guy doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what he's doing, you know what I'm saying? But he's learning as he's going along, you know what I'm saying? He's someone that's too trusting. He's someone that lets his guard down a lot. He's like I said in the beginning, he's a novice, you know what I mean? And he then meets is it Eric, that character, who's a Swedish character, do you know what I'm saying?
Who's part of the kind of force of, because again, this is what was great about the film and what I wanted more from the film, where we learn more about the outside world, which is completely fine, by the way.
Yeah.
It's as if they are in our times. Completely fine. The world is working, but the United Kingdom is persona non grata. There's nothing happening in the UK. In the film, kind of thing.
He's got a smartphone and that.
He's got a phone.
He's all talking about stuff, and then Spike is like, "What? What's that? What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
That kind of thing. He's like, "You don't know what a phone is, or all these kind of things."
He's trying to explain it to him and stuff like that, and he shows. And then it's so typical, bro, of our times where he shows him a picture of his girlfriend. He's like, "What's wrong with her face?"
And
she's got lip fillers, and he's like,
lip fillers, all that kind of stuff.
Because that reminds me of this girl who's allergic to shellfish. Where I live, which is just so hilarious kind of thing.
What did you actually, what did you think, before I even get to Ray Fiennes, what did you think of that scene, the pregnant infected?
So this is where the film gets into a place where, like, oh, this is a bit far-fetched, this is a bit much. Like, an infected person would want to kill them. Now, I understand she's in so much pain because she's about to give birth, so she's going to get help wherever she can get it from, so I get that. Then a part of me thought, is Jodie Comer's character, Isla, is she, like, immune? And is this whole kind of sickness part of her kind of immunity or something like that? I was beginning to think, because how is she like touching this person and not immediately about to die kind of thing. So I thought that, and it was very interesting the fact that once the baby's born, it's obviously not infected, it's completely fine. And then we get that throwaway line from, obviously later on, from the Ray Fiennes character saying, "Oh, placenta." You know what I mean? That's probably the reason why she's in it. It's very interesting. But for me, Eric, I thought this guy was being very, very rude the whole time, stuff like that. But again, that's just his nature, and he's just a young person who just contributed to the army kind of thing. He didn't know any better kind of thing, and he's trying to explain like the reason why he is where he is because of the whole kind of delivery man story kind of thing. I should be a delivery man.
I should have been a delivery man.
Essentially, kind of thing, which was very good. It was a great analogy for kind of like that situation and all that kind of stuff. And then it was just so funny the fact that Spike just did not understand anything. He said, "What's the delivery man? Oh, you don't know that." So basically, someone like, "Oh, you don't know that," kind of thing.
But I did see like his death like from a mile away.
Oh yeah. From
a mile away, just that shot of him backing up, you can see it from a mile away, and then an open kind of part of the roof, you can see it from a mile away. But even with the pregnant infected, like, so have you seen oh my god, what's it called again? What is Zack Snyder's movie called? The zombie movie, Army of the Dead. Yes. But there's a pregnant infected in that one as well. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? So I was just like, that's why I was drawing that comparison, because Samson, who's this big alpha, you know what I'm saying, I was getting, or I'm assuming is correct, that was his wife. Or one of his partners, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Or one of his companions, and that's his child, basically. Yeah. So he wants the baby back. Yes. Or am I thinking too much? Does he actually want the baby, or does he just want to kill them as well? Or which one is it? I thought that he wanted the baby back, essentially, because he's smart. He wants his child back. That's what I thought. But then again, the child wasn't infected, so why would you want it back? But again, he's not dumb, so maybe he's thinking, it's still my child kind of thing. And it would live with I mean, kind of thing. That would be very interesting to see what would have happened. That's like, I was like, wait, what's going on? Because I would have loved the scene where he got the child back and you just see him interacting with it. That's what I wanted to see. Yeah. Because then I would have seen what he would have done. A scene like that would have been good, because imagine the baby, obviously the baby wasn't infected because it was protected by the placenta. But imagine a scene where he doesn't even want to even try and infect it. He just wants to look after it. Just wants to look after it, or like he's fighting the infected part of himself, and the baby like touches his beard or something like that kind of thing. That would have been good to have. That would have been great to have. And so going back to now what I thought about Jimmy, I thought Jimmy was Ray Fiennes. You thought Jimmy was Ray Fiennes? Okay, interesting. I could see why you think that. But then that wouldn't be 28 years later, because the boy was like 10. Yeah. So it'd be 38. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That didn't make sense. So even when I kept thinking this is gonna be Jimmy, but I was like, can this be Jimmy? He's a bit older for it to be Jimmy. Yeah. But I don't know. But what did you think about Ray Fiennes' character? Yes. And then get into Isla and then Spike, that kind of. Okay. So for me, Ray Fiennes can do no wrong. The guy's an outstanding actor. You already know this, bro. You know what I mean? Conclave, one of your favorites. So I knew it was gonna be great, and I think him like talking about Memento Mori and stuff like that, and him talking about the reason why he made this kind of monument to essentially death and all that kind of stuff and remembrance was very, very interesting kind of thing. But for me, where I got off the bus of suspension of disbelief is when my guy is out here
You know what I mean? Like stacking up things and stuff like that. And
What, the skulls?
the skulls, all right, that's one thing. But him essentially like diagnosing Isla,
Yeah.
like having cancer and stuff like that, and that she's gonna die and all that kind of stuff. And then
I thought it was a bit mad.